So, who in the audience has seen Pete or heard of Pete before? Quite a few.
Quite a
few. Awesome. So, I mean, I suppose we better cover first for, you know, those that maybe not too familiar with what you do and a bit of your background. Like, where do we know you from?
I am a YouTuber primarily. In fact, solely, I guess. I make gear demos, silly videos, all based around metal music, and yeah, I just make content on YouTube, I guess. I make a song usually when I'm demoing a product, and if I do something silly like playing Meshuggah with sugary foods or Metallica's One with one string, yeah, that's me. That's what I do.
Awesome. And where did it all begin? What was there any like a particular guitarist, particular track, or something that sort of made you sit up and think, "This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to play guitar"? Or
well, I don't have a musical background. None of my family are musical at all. Since I was a kid, though, I've always been into making things. I've been artistic or just drawing on anything. And I was a big Art Attack fan.
I remember Art Attack.
Yeah. And from there, I guess it just progressed into music. I like the kids I was hanging around with at school, all like heavy metal and stuff. So actually, one day I think the guitar bug caught me. I saw a guy on the Top of the Pops playing a Strat or something. No idea who it was, but I said to my folks, "That looks pretty cool. I'd like to give it a try." And they bought me a cheap Strat knockoff, and I never looked back really.
Cool. So there was no like, it wasn't like it's a rebellious thing. Like I know so many people with music, it's like, yeah, I'm just rebelling against my parents. It's fine.
No, my folks have been very supportive of what I do. So
awesome. So I mean, I asked this question yesterday because generally I saw it on the advertisement for the seminar. You're dubbed the YouTube musical mad scientist.
Yes.
Where the hell does that come from?
That comes from Trey Xavier of Gear Gods. Does anybody know Trey? Gear Gods? He that video I mentioned earlier about making doing a Meshuggah cover using sugary foods because Meshuggah. I did that video, full cover of it. Trey liked it, put an article up on the Gear Gods website. He called me the musical mad scientist. The band then saw it and shared it on their Facebook page, and we crashed the Gear Gods website. So
nice. So and then it's just stuck ever since.
It just sounds cool, so I put it on everything when I'm being introduced. It certainly
does sound cool. So where you're highly popular on YouTube, you have a massive following, tons and thousands of views on videos. Where did the obsession with wanting to make videos start? You said product demos.
In the beginning, I was just watching YouTube. I was a big fan of YouTubers in general. I found Ola England and Keith Merrow and basically wanted to copy them. But before them, I was watching like sketch comedy on YouTube. Vloggers, people like Tom Scar, Christopher Bingham, Bing. Yeah, just lots of YouTube content. And it caught me. The other thing was I was in a band where I was kind of doing all the video work, just editing and stuff, just teaching myself how to do it because someone had to in that situation. When the band inevitably fell apart, I just kind of started making YouTube videos.
What was your first video you ever did?
It was the first video I ever did. Won't ever get seen. It's on a channel no one knows about. But the first video on my channel now, it was a product demo of my favorite guitar, which is a PRS single cut. Yeah, and it was a Lamb of God type tune. So it's proper heavy, and actually PRS shared that. So I kind of saw straight away, actually, because I put it on Twitter, and PRS saw it, and they were like, hey, this is cool, and they shared it. So it was like, this can work, this is pretty cool.
Nice, so it's now removed, you can't see it?
No, you can see it. It's literally the first video on my channel. It doesn't even have a thumbnail, because it's that old.
One I didn't ask you yesterday, I really wanted to ask you today, was... what's it like watching yourself back on video? Because
I think my voice sounds funny.
It's always like that radio thing, isn't it? When you're younger, like I wonder what my voice would sound like on radio. And it's like, do I actually sound like that?
It's strange watching yourself back on video. When you're just playing like music, I notice all the mistakes that other people may not notice. When I'm doing spoken word stuff, I script all my stuff usually, and I know from like the 30-second clip that I've put in, I know there was like 4 hours of me trying to nail it, from me getting it wrong over and over and over again, from saying the wrong thing. I have an innate habit of writing down exactly what I want to say and saying something completely different. And yeah, so if someone sees a video of mine where I'm doing spoken stuff, there's like 4 hours of me screwing it up over and over again. That's what I see when I see myself on video.
So we get like a Christmas spoof reel at all?
It'd just be a bunch of swearing.
So, I mean, once you kind of decide, like, you know, that's what I want to do, I want to do product demos and stuff like that, did you feel like, I mean, you mentioned there was others that were doing it, but do you think there was a gap for the way that you did it? Was it out of necessity? Did you think that's definitely not out there, like, I can totally do that?
Not really, because there were some people doing gear demos. There was Ola and Keith, obviously. There's also Fluff, Ryan Bruce. He was doing all the gear demo stuff, and they were the kind of people I modeled myself after, and I just wanted to create stuff. I wanted to be like them, essentially. So I did.
Cool.
And it worked.
Yeah, totally, yeah. And did you think it was like more like honest reviews for people, like, or not really reviews, but honest demonstrations, so people are like, well, I'm totally getting, just a straight up review of a product, and that's it?
Because I never really review. I never really break down why this product is better than another product, or why I prefer it over something else. I always like to just use it in the context of a song, or just make something with it, really. So in a sense, yeah, that's really honest. I just like to make, like I said earlier, I just like making things, and that's kind of where I came at it. It's nothing. I wasn't like, there's a gap here that needs to be filled or anything like that. It's just something I wanted to do.
And did you, or do you, like, work with any specific brands? I mean, obviously you're here today to speak, you know, with ourselves, but did you work with any specific brands in the past or now? Now
I work with Chapman Guitars, and I have like a handshake and wink thing with Ernie Ball strings. Nothing official, but yeah. In the past, I actually demoed, in the beginning, I demoed every bit of gear I have. So all the videos for the first 2 or 3 years of my channel are basically every bit of gear I had, from the PRS, my favorite guitar, so of course it had to go into my first video. And then I went 7-string, 8-string. And when I ran out of gear to demo, I actually started borrowing from friends and stuff. But then the channel had got to, you know, a level where people were noticing, and kind of started sending me things to demo.
Nice. And you know, you mentioned you're a Focusrite user as well.
I have a 2i4.
A 2i4. I found, like, when you said to me it was a 2i4, that's not really one I would say a guitarist would go for. But I mean, how do you use the 2i4?
I got the 2i4 because of Misha Mansour, because I saw a video with him using it, and he was in exactly the same setup that I was, basically home recording. But you can home record to a very good standard, so it's not an issue, especially with that. It did everything I needed it to. I got the 2i4 because I needed to reamp. Otherwise, I would have got the 2i2. Right, it has extra outputs on the back, I think.
Yep, it does. Yeah, four outputs.
Yeah.
2 stereo. So with the product demos and videos on the channel, did the channel then grow organically? Like, from there, was there like a point where one particular video spiked and then that was it, or was it just you know, did you have to do anything for it to grow further? Like,
sort of. The gear demos only get a certain amount of traction, and they tend to keep going over time. They have quite a long life because people are searching for a product. You know, if I demoed this guitar, for example, they'd be searching for this guitar. You put it in the description and the title of the video, and people find it over time, so it carries on. When I ran out of gear to demo and my friends would stop lending me their gear, I had like a bit of a lull, where I just thought, I need to make something funny, or just do something I wanted to, which is where videos like playing Metallica on 1 string and stuff come from. It's like, if I have no gear to demo, I'll do something fun. And they do better, which is why I'm mentioning them. And my growth of my channel actually mainly came from collaboration with other YouTubers, rather than people finding the videos themselves. So I've collaborated with, I guess, notably Rob Scalland. Anybody know Rob? Jared Dines, and Leo, Frogleap Studios. That one especially did very well. We did a cover of, Leo does metal covers on his channel. I think, the best on YouTube. And he did a cover of Adele's Hello when the song came out, and that song blew up, and it was a case of being in the right place at the right time for both of us, actually. And that video's got 40 million views on YouTube. So
that's amazing. And
I did really well for both of us, actually.
Yeah, and I've seen that in many ways, like socially, it's good to collaborate with a lot of different artists, different markets and stuff. Socially, they reach different audiences and stuff. So collaborative is definitely a good way to go. Mm-hmm. I noticed you've got like you mentioned it a couple of times, there's a real quirky element and fun element to your videos. The one I think I brought up yesterday was one riff and 20 bands. It's pretty mad. But do you think that's helped build the channel? You mentioned earlier, but do people see like the honest you, or is it like, that's a cool idea, that's a funny idea?
Yeah, those videos, I do them because I like them. I think they're funny. I find that entertaining. That's one thing I've always tried to do is like I said before, I kind of did it for me. I just wanted to make stuff. And if I find something funny, I'll just make it. It's really that simple. And those videos actually do really well because YouTube has algorithms and things like that. But the one that everybody focuses on is watch time, which is why you see creators these days having longer and longer videos. Because people watch them all the way through. The algorithm likes that, so it'll show it to more people. And those videos, for example, actually do help grow the channel quite a bit because people watch them all the way through because they want to see all 20 styles of one riff. So yeah. And
I didn't ask you this one yesterday either, but is there a particular favourite? Have you got a favourite video?
Of those ones or all of my videos?
Just in general, favourite one of your own.
I've done so many. I had one where I had one, I forget what it's called, random number metal, I think I called it. And I generated a bunch of random numbers, which I used as time signatures for the song. I then took that, made a skeleton of a song out of it, wrote some drum tracks to it, then wrote the riffs to it. So everything in it, every bar of the song was randomly generated. So that was pretty cool. Actually, that's one of the things that happened first with me and Trey from Gear Gods. I actually bugged him about that and sent him an email saying, "Hey, I've made this video. Would you share it?" And he liked it, and he said I was a bit of an idiot for doing that because you don't do that. But yeah, that was one of my first videos, which did quite well. I like that one. That's the one off the top of my head I like.
Has anyone in the audience got a particular favourite one of Pete's at all? One riff 20, yeah, it's pretty cool. At this point, has anyone got any questions for Pete at all? Oh, there's one at the back there.
Hi, Pete.
Hello.
It's the old cliche question, but I kicked off my YouTube channel this September. I'm actually here filming stuff for it now. What advice can you give to someone who's just starting out?
Keep at it. Be regular with it. Be as regular as you can with it as well, and keep it consistent. Don't vary it too much. You need, especially in the beginning. The views will be quite slow in the beginning, but it will eventually pick up if you just keep at it. If you vary the content too much, it will suffer because of it. For example, if you did something like filming like around here, doing a vlog series of around here, and then you do gear demos, that's kind of fine because it's all in one niche. But if you then go and film the Slayer concert that happened on Friday and then post that to your channel, that's not going to do very well, and it will suffer. And the algorithm that I mentioned before picks up on that kind of stuff. It likes consistency. So yeah, keep it consistent and keep it regular.
And in terms of the regularity, I mean, at the moment, realistically, I can sustain one good video a week amongst my life, Is that a good starting point? One a week?
Yep.
Every Friday, 2 o'clock?
That's more than I manage sometimes.
So you can get to the channel via my website because I'm not popular enough to actually have my own channel name yet, but it's myguitarsings.com/YouTube.
Nice. Is there any more questions for Pete at the moment? We will have the opportunity towards the end as well, so if you think of any between that point, then take some in. So let's talk about your own music. Have you found that you've created this massive following on YouTube? Has the channel now become a vessel for your own music? It's
kind of always been a vessel for my own music. That's one of the reasons I started it, is because I wanted to get better at writing songs, and doing gear demos was a way of doing that. Again, it's something that Ola and Keith do. Every one of their videos had an original song in it. They weren't doing covers, and I kind of stuck to that for a very long time, just trying to write a song for every gear demo I did. And it's quite tough doing that, because if you want a weekly video, it's hard to write a good song every week, you know. And I didn't manage it at all in the beginning. And when you're lucky to get actually like one a month sometimes, if you make a really good song you're proud of. It's also a very good way of practicing songwriting, just getting better at it, is by essentially doing it, failing a bunch of times or doing things wrong, and putting it out into the world and just moving on.
Awesome. And yeah, I take it this is a completely full-time thing for you now with the channel and everything?
Yep.
You don't have to sort of support it at all by gigging and stuff?
I don't gig. I'm primarily I am a studio musician. I make videos. I'm an internet musician, I guess. Some people want to go and gig, and that's great, but I'm not that person. I like Wi-Fi in my own bed. I don't like a sweaty tour bus and all that. But yeah. As far as breaking down how I make money and stuff, it's ad revenue, like like digital music sales and streaming, affiliate sales, and there's merch coming as well.
Pete Cottrell merch.
It'll be sold on my Bandcamp, I think, and it's going to be a T-shirt and an EP coming soon.
Nice. And yeah, a big thing at the moment, obviously, Spotify is now allowing you to upload your music directly. And how do you feel about that? Is that something you'll be doing?
It's cool, but it's only for Spotify. If you want to do that, that's fine. I do it for a company called DistroKid, which distributes to pretty much everybody, or every retailer around the world. And yeah, I think it's the cheapest you can get. They're actually very good. One, I actually forgot, they sponsored me once, so sponsorship's another way I get money.
I suppose we better get technical, really. Let's talk about your current setup at home.
It's really quite simple. It is like a home recording setup. It's not that different from recording on a laptop, except I have a PC, like a desktop PC. And it's a powerful PC and stuff, but that's primarily for video work, actually. Other than that, I have obviously like Chapman guitars and stuff, and I DI straight into my 2i4 interface. I use Cubase, actually a really old like Cubase 6, so I haven't updated it yet.
You always use Cubase, or?
Yeah, it's a love-hate thing.
I can see the pain on your face.
So when you see the spelling errors and things that are concurrent in the error messages that come through Cubase and the presets, cannot found a device is one of my favorites. Stuff like that. When you see that I've been using it for like 10 years and stuff. Yeah, I'm married to it whether I like it or not. Although, like C2 said earlier, was it you used PreSonus?
Studio One.
Yeah, it has like a function where you can change over. So maybe I'll be doing that, because Cubase is, like I say, it's a love-hate thing, and I go between loving and hating it.
And let's talk about because you produce everything yourself. It's all done by yourself, DIY kind of thing. But how do you capture the videos? Can you talk us through the process of that?
Do you mean like with the gear I use, or just in general?
Just in general,
Okay,
how the shot. I need to get this shot, or
if when I start a video, I try to get all the audio done first, so I don't have to go back to it and change it. Sometimes if something's screwed up, I will go back and change it, but most of the time, audio always done first. Then I'll move on to the video. I'll actually mime the track, because it's easier. I've found it easier because you can edit around mistakes if you make some, rather than having to go back and re-record all your guitars and stuff like that. I actually only have one camera, but I can have up to 9 angles in my videos. So I try and do that as often as possible, because it just gives me more options for the edit. And some of them are close, some are far. And yeah, I actually have like split screen elements in my videos as well, which are done in After Effects. And my main editing software is Premiere Pro. And I'll go between the two. They have something called Dynamic Link, where you can send something from Premiere Pro over to After Effects, edit it in After Effects, and it'll update immediately in Premiere Pro, so you don't have to render out footage over and over again. Just makes things quicker.
Cool. And do you do any sort of audio processing on the way in, or do you just record it and then do some post-production processing?
I mix all my stuff, so that post-production? I guess
Absolutely,
so.
mixing it all.
But when I'm tracking guitars, I always use DI. I use bias effects, to just get a tone. And then I'll reamp it. I actually forgot this. From the gear I use, I have a PV6505 MH and a Torpedo Live, 2 Notes Torpedo Live, which I use to reamp all my stuff. For bass, and it's again just a DI straight in. Sometimes, depending on the project, I'll leave the DI and just use that. But most of the time, I'll run it through. I think it's TuneTrack Easy Mix 2, and they have some I have some like add-ons and stuff in there which have some metal bass presets and things, and I go from there and I combine that with bias effects again to make a gritty tone that I like. And I've actually saved all this as a preset, so when I streamline my process of making videos, and I don't have to remix it. I mixed it once for a video, and because I use the same gear so often, I'll go and I'll just use the preset I have, and it speeds up the process so much because you don't have to mix it again.
And when you're at a final stage and you're like you're happy with the video, I mean, you mentioned earlier you're quite a perfectionist in a way, and you just like are you ever at the point where it's not done but it's done kind of thing, or?
You do have to let go of a project at some point, and it's hard to do that because, especially when you have deadlines and things, if you want to put a video out by a certain time, you need to do it. And I have something called Patreon as well. I keep forgetting things. Patreon is another way I earn money, which is like a crowdfunding thing. Every video I do, people get some rewards in exchange for supporting me, kind of like a rolling Kickstarter. Sorry, I've forgotten what was the question again? Sorry.
Oh, we were just talking about in general, like about the videos. You know, are you over perfectionist?
You can edit things to death, both in audio and video. I just tend to get it to a point, and it helps having that deadline of I have to put this video out now, and for Patreon, which is why I mentioned it. Patreon, they tend to get the video earlier, which is one of the perks. Having that deadline means that I can't keep going, but you have to. I like the idea of just finishing a project and moving on to the next one, regardless of whether it's perfect or not. It'd be nice if it was perfect, but you're always going to be editing. There's always things you'll listen back to and think you want to change. But there has to be a brick wall. There has to be like a finite point that you stop and move on to the next project, and that's usually when my deadline calls for me.
And you, when it's done, it's predominantly it's always on YouTube. I mean, do you share it on other platforms socially?
The main video is always on YouTube. That's my main thing, but it's important to like cross-promote it with Instagram, especially these days, and Twitter is what I use. Facebook can be good, but its reach at the minute sucks. You have to pay to get any kind of reach on Facebook for any kind of post. And also, I don't know whether everyone realizes this, but if you post a YouTube link to Facebook, it will suppress it, or any kind of link. It will suppress it. It won't show it to as many people as it should because it doesn't want you to leave their site. So if you upload things natively to Facebook as well, if you want to use Facebook video or something, that's probably a better way of getting your video out on Facebook. But don't use Facebook.
Other social platforms are available.
Yeah, other social platforms are available. Instagram's really good at the minute, but for me, it's always YouTube. Is YouTube a social platform? But it's a video platform, and it's the one I use for all of my stuff.
I mean, is it... we asked this yesterday. You mentioned deadlines a moment ago. Is there a particular day or time that you post and share stuff? I
try to keep to a schedule, but it really often goes awry because sometimes I'm bad with time management, I guess. But Monday to Thursday is the days I'll post. Very rarely I'll put a video out on a Friday, and that's because I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday people are doing things like this, and they're not watching their computers and stuff. Time of day also matters to me. I always try and put a video out between 4 and 5 UK time. And that's because in the UK, that's when people kind of clock off work and they might be checking phones and stuff. And I can see in actually Facebook analytics, because YouTube doesn't give you this data as to what specific time of day people are online. Facebook does give you that data, so it's an educated guess that people will be on YouTube as well. And you can see in the analytics there's a hump around like 4 to 5 UK time. And it's also the kind of time in America where like a lot of my viewers are from America, and there's like 3 or 4 time zones over there, and it's a good spread for when you should put them out between breakfast and lunchtime for people in America as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned the analytics side of it as well. How much do you kind of drill into that and say, like, for example, where's your biggest captive audience? What, geographically?
America.
Just because it's huge.
I don't know why, but I think that's pretty common across all YouTubers, is that most of their audience is in America. It's also, among guitar players, it's like 98% male as well.
I mean, I've rattled through my questions. I think we've got about 10 minutes. I know you've got an outro.
I have a
to
quick
play,
song, yeah.
But are there any more questions in the audience? Oh, we've got one at the front here. It's got your mic coming.
In terms of the future, do you think you'll always be known as the demo man, or are you aiming to go somewhere else ultimately?
YouTube won't last forever, so that's on my mind, and I'm trying to figure out where I should go. But it's nice right now.
That's a really good question.
I think Ola got asked something similar to this in one of his Q&As that I watched, and he was like, "Yeah, YouTube's great and stuff, but you have to kind of figure out where you want to go." For me, it's starting to come into real-world events like this. I'm making music. What I've been doing so far is making a song on my videos, and I still do this, and I release it when the video comes out. So it's like one song by one song by one song. There's no albums or EPs that have been coming out. But that's going to change. Like in the next month or so, I'm having an EP come out because I feel it's important to make that step for me. It's like a proper thing that people can see rather than just something that's linked to a video.
Are you finding people are engaging more with your music now, more so than the demos, or is it still primarily the kind of the demo stuff?
I mean, it varies.
Yeah.
People engage with the funny videos, but they quite often rude comments because they get more reach. That's a good thing, actually, when you see rude comments, is it means people are seeing your videos who wouldn't normally see them. But with the gear demos and stuff, yeah, people have always engaged. I get really positive comments and positive engagement with songs and gear demos and stuff. If they've always been nice from day one. I think I'm in the minority there, actually, on YouTube. People have been quite nice to me.
Is there any more questions? Oh, we've got a couple. Yeah, one there.
This might be quite predictable, but have you thought about doing any sort of guitar tuition videos or music production tuition videos, or would that sort of dilute your offering at the moment, do you think?
Yes, I have. Do you guys know Music is Win, Tyler? He has some courses on Udemy. I have something half written for that, so yes, I do intend to do something like that. I also may be picking up Skype lessons again, which I stopped earlier, about a year ago, but I may be picking up again because I kind of miss it. Keeps me on my toes, actually.
Cool. And I think that there was one straight at the back again.
Yeah, it was that whole thing you said about Facebook shutting down YouTube. So, like, shutting down YouTube. So, if you post a video and embed it into your Facebook post, it'll shut that down. What if you just put a straight YouTube link, or is it just everything YouTube? Just kind of Facebook.
If you
goes,
put
no.
any kind of link in a Facebook post, it will suppress it. That's what I understand happens. Yeah.
I just thought people didn't like me, but now I know why.
Try. You can do things to cheat around it. You can post a picture or a still of the video and then post your video link in the comments below. Stuff like that can work. Or if you want to post like a clip of the video to Facebook, like a quick one, yeah, that stuff can work and drive traffic to the YouTube video. But Facebook is just bad. You do need to use it, I guess, because people are still on it, but it doesn't have the reach that it used to. And Instagram, Twitter, they all get better results and more like interaction from people watching.
And sorry to like hog the mic and all that, but just one last question. You mentioned the affiliate marketing. How did you approach companies about that? Just email them? Do you have to have a certain amount of following for them to put their links in your...
It depends. This one which I use the most is Amazon affiliate, and I don't think you need any kind of qualifying, I don't know the term, like any kind of threshold of followers or anything for that. You just need to apply for it, and I think that will happen. I've recently applied for a Toman one, where there's like a form you have to fill in. They do require you to have a certain threshold of followers and like daily views and all that kind of stuff. It depends on who you go with. It's something that's not really talked about, affiliate kind of links and earning money from that, from gear sales and stuff. but it is there, and if you go looking for it, if you're a creator wanting to make videos on YouTube and stuff, it's one of the ways you can earn like a little bit more money.
Thank you.
Excellent. Is there any more questions at all? Oh, wow. We have a few.
Just a quick one. Are we going to be seeing signature Chapman at all soon?
I would love one, and I kind of know the specs that I would have, but that's a question for Chapman. It's like a kind of super endorsement. They have to decide whether I, as a person, can shift enough units that they make, and my name is worth giving me that privilege.
And on a side note, are we going to be seeing any beanie merch?
Been thinking about it because it's coming up to winter.
Well, it's what you're synonymous with. You know, it's what we all love.
That's a bit of advice. If you're starting a YouTube channel, don't wear a beanie, because you'll be tied to it forever. Yes, basically.
Well, I noticed you're wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, so...
Yeah.
I think there's one more over there, actually, and I think we'll take this one, and then if you have got any questions for Pete, we'll be happy
I'll be sticking around for a bit.
Sticking around for a bit, yeah.
Hi, thanks. My name's Paddy. I'm also in the camp of someone who's about to start doing YouTube videos, blogs and reviews and all of that, which is called Always More Gear, because I kind of feel like there always is more gear. So I'm just really interested to know, is there anything you've done that you look back and go, oh my God, that was a massive mistake, wish I hadn't done that? Some sort of nugget of wisdom that we ought to know.
Q&As tend to not do too well on my channel. At the minute, it seems that collaborations don't do very well on my channel, at least. When I'm on other people's channels, they do fairly well. But if they're on my channel, people don't tend to like it. So, but no, nothing massively mistaked. Mistaked? Is that a word? No massive mistakes.
It is now.
It is now. There have been, like, you don't want to... There's one video I put out, which was with Leo from Frog Leap, and it was making fun of bands, making fun of Korn, I think it was, and we did one on Metallica. Parodies tend to be hit and miss. It was a parody video, essentially. And people tend to... We're doing it out of love because we like those bands. But people who were like hardcore fans of the bands tend to get a bit upset if they don't know how to take a joke sometimes. So yeah, I guess that's the closest thing it's come to a mistake.
Thanks.
And final one from me, I suppose. What's coming up? What are you working on now?
That EP that I mentioned is pretty much on my mind. I want to get that out mid-November, hopefully. There'll be T-shirts with it, so if anybody wants that, they'll be on, I think, on Bandcamp. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. But yeah, otherwise it's just videos as normal, and just making gear demos, making silly videos. I have actually a very cool Christmas video idea, which is a bit like the One Riff 20 Bands videos that I do, which I've been trying to get done for a couple of years, but I need enough people to collaborate with to get it done, because I'm not a very good vocalist and it requires vocals.
Nice. And I think we just got time to play us a song in the outro, yeah?
Yeah, this is a prototype for something that's on the EP. It's been in a video called which was a demo for a plugin called Grime Machine 2, and it's like half a song, and I'll be finishing it for the EP. So yeah, this one's hard to play, so hopefully I don't balls this up.